Hey guys, welcome to the Brothers Boyd. I'm Josh, and I'm here with Daniel and Chris, and this is our review of the final three episodes of Miss Marvel. We've been on vacation for a week, so we didn't get to review the first, fourth, and fifth. So we decided just to save them all and talk about them all today. Um, when I was watching these, I felt like four and five really fit together well. They did the whole visit to her home with her nana, and I felt like that was a good way to go. And then six just blew it out of the water. I think we're all excited for number six.
Yeah,
Oh
I
yeah,
agree. Yeah, four and five were they were fun because we got that little bit of that backstory, which I've been waiting for that backstory on the Bengal. I really enjoyed that and seeing her just training and learning her power. I felt I felt like that was good. I felt a little rushed with her learning from the Red Daggers, but we have six episodes. I really wish we could have had 8 to 10 on this series because I really feel like it would have been fun to see two more episodes of this show.
Oh yeah, definitely. I would have loved to seen her in the suit doing more. More of her superheroing.
definitely. Yes, I'm looking forward to seeing more of her in the Marvels, and I just think that just the entire cast is so great. I just wanted to spend more time with their world and everything. So definitely wish they could do go a little bit further than 6 episodes on some of these Marvel series and Star Wars as well. But anyways, yeah, definitely wish we had more.
Yeah, yeah. Disney and Marvel know how to leave us wanting more all the time, and they're very good at it. I think just watching it, I really enjoyed the family dynamic of this. You got to see basically a whole family, and they were all getting along and just things going on. Like they're really like you could see a normal family doing. One of the funniest scenes from the beginning of episode six. We're just gonna jump around was when the mom basically knew her mom basically knew that she was Miss Marvel. She had superpowers, and she was going to make an announcement and tell the rest of her family. And when she did, they were all like, "Oh, really?" Like because they already knew. Because typically that's how a family works. If somebody tells a secret, everybody's going to find out. So I thought that was really funny.
I thought it was really great the way they tied family in. I love how they dealt with the mystery of her great grandmother and how they did the flashback where she wound up in the partition and she saved her grandmother. She was the one who created the stars. I thought that was so well done.
Yes,
Yeah,
I thought so too. Really did like that episode. I just want to take an aside here and say that episode 4 really showed just how beautiful Pakistan is. It's a beautiful country. That was very lovely done, and I think it really helps. I know this might be a little bit on the techie side for some folks, but like if you watch the show and you have the ability to watch it this way, watch it in Dolby Vision with the HDR because it is gorgeous to watch that way. And I think Pakistan just really kind of shined for me on that episode with just the variants of colors and bright lights and things like that.
I agree. Daniel, did you catch in episode four when she was fighting the Red Dagger at first that she did a Ninja Turtle reference?
Yes.
yeah, yeah. And she is a 16-year-old teenager. So, but wait a minute, she's not old enough to know who the turtles are. But I guess she
Well, the
does.
turtles have been around so
um,
long and changed so much that they've kind of stayed in perpetuity in all pop culture zeitgeist. So
hey, as long as the old '90s turtles and not the new Nickelodeon turtles, which suck very bad.
I honestly have not seen that show, but the character designs never did a lot for me, so I never really watched it.
The first
Yeah,
series that Nickelodeon did with the Turtles was really good, but this new Rise of the Turtles, I don't like the designs of the characters.
yeah, I agree, Josh. I think the first one was really good. But in this day and age, we get like giant body and small leg He-Man. So
Yeah. So episode 4, we went to Pakistan in present day. We saw um, the Red Daggers training Miss Marvel. We saw her meet up and get attacked by the Jinn from the clandestine. They came after her, and I was then when they hit the bangle, that's when she went back into the partition of old Pakistan in episode 5. And then when we jump back in episode 5, we get her fighting them again, but the veil has been torn. And what did you guys think of the main woman who was Cameron's mom sacrificing herself to close the veil?
I think it was probably I definitely was the right choice to do that. I mean, it was obvious that it was going to hurt everyone to do that, but it was nice to see that she realized that, wait a minute, I'm really going to hurt Cameron if I do this. So if I don't do this, so let me close this gate.
yeah, I like the fact that she was set up as basically the bad guy in the show for a while, but then you she kind of did show that, hey, she still loves her son, and she made a choice and sent him all that power when she did that. So I thought that was a really cool way for that character to kind of go out instead of just being the bad guy who just dies.
Yeah, I mean it really went well with the human emotion of the show. I think it was a good thing there because the show was all about family. I mean, definitely. I was surprised, and when episode 5 went off, when it ended that part, I was thinking, well, they just killed the main villain. What are they going to do for episode 6? And then I remembered, oh yeah, we got damage control still after her.
Yeah, and just to keep harping on the family stuff and the beauty of this show, one thing that I think that it did, and if more people will watch it, um, we have kind of lived in a country where since 2001, when the Trade Center was attacked, if you were for lack of a better word, a brown person, because that's what they were called. There was a stigma there based off of those attacks, and they were treated differently. And if you watch this show, you kind of see that they show, hey, they're just like us. They're humans, and we need to erase some of the stereotypes that are going around right now, big
Yeah,
time.
the stigma against Muslims from that is very high, and this show did an excellent job of covering that and showing you, hey, you had the girls from the earlier episodes in the mosque on their phones while they were supposed to be in the service. So I mean, yeah, they're just like everybody else. I mean, they did a really
Right.
good job of covering that. I think Marvel has been very very good at showing tolerance for all types of people, and I think it's going to be interesting. The big buzzword when
Yeah.
the mutants show
So
up,
yeah,
because that is a big issue in the comics. They are stereotyped and they are dealt with as if they're a problem.
Yeah, so we get to episode 6, and she's getting ready to go help her friends. And the first thing we see is her mom say, Kamala, you're not going anywhere without this. And she pulls out, in my opinion, one of the best costumes that we've seen in the Marvel Universe so far, the cinematic universe. It just was spot on, comic accurate, and it just really worked. You really believe she was Miss Marvel. She embodied that character so well. And so, we get episode 6, we get her fully powered. We get to see some really cool powers. Um, I think my favorite thing, and I'll let you guys talk about it, is when she got bigger, when she was fighting towards the end, she actually used that bigger power,
Oh, and she
which,
yelled in biggin.
yeah, yeah. How about you guys? What was one of your favorite things she did in that last episode?
I think that was really cool. And the whole thing, Chris, leading off of what you said, Bruno made her mask. Her best friend made her mask. Her mom made her suit. And by the end of the episode, her dad named her. and Kamala
Yeah.
in their language means marvel, which I thought was
Right.
really great, a really great way to do it. That
Right. It was.
goes back into the friends and family. Um, Favorite scene, um, if I got to go into 4, 5, and 6, in 5, it would be that scene where she saves her grandmother as a child. Um, in 6, I do like all the superhero fighting we saw at the end, but I think my favorite scene is that one from the beginning where she tries to tell him her secret, and everybody always knows, and they go, "You already told him?" And she said, "Yeah, well, she told Abu, and he always uses speakerphone, so we hear it." And the dad goes, "Well, speakerphone is very convenient."
Yeah.
I'm getting
How
to
about
be
you, Daniel?
dad. Um, Definitely. Following the stars from the episode 5 was one of my favorite parts, but for episode 6, just that battle with damage control, her embiggening and actually showing her powers starting to come more comic accurate and everything like that. Just it was just a very great celebratory scene. And within that scene, one of the things I really loved was her hiding him out and getting him out and calming him down to go away because he was getting under control. Just really showed her resolve as a hero to really be able to make a bad situation calm down a bad situation. Really, I think she's fantastic, honestly.
And
Yeah.
the couple of things I noticed that I thought were really cool looking over it and reading about it. At the end, when everybody saved her, that Spider-Man moment where they all stepped in the way of damage control, that was really cool. And then they started showing all those the FaceTime things. And I don't know if you guys saw, but there was an OGWW in that FaceTime
Yeah.
call, and that was the original G. Willow Wilson who created
Yeah,
Kamala Khan.
I
And
noticed her
Yeah.
too.
yeah, and the writer and artist, her and the person who drew her, said their favorite scene in the whole series, and it came directly from the comics, was seeing her sitting on that lamppost because that
Yeah,
was a direct scene from one of the early issues.
Yeah, and I was gonna say that was one of my favorite scenes. I know I've seen that picture 100 times whenever you talk about Miss Marvel. Um, so um, we can't end this without talking about and this to me, and you guys can call me out on it and call me, but I feel like well, first off, let me say two things. Um, Number one, I'm kind of like, why did the Red Dagger show her their secret hideout so quick when they just met her, for one thing? But I guess the bangle helped with that. But I was like, man, that was awful quick for them to show her their hideout. And then the other thing, one of the other things was, I did not care for the damage control woman. I'm glad she's gone, and I hope we never have to see her again because she felt like a very weak character to me. So,
Um, she was on Orange Is the New Black, and all I can say is she's pretty much typecast as the B in everything I've ever seen her in, and she does that role very well. So
yeah.
yeah, but
So,
I think we're probably going to see her again, and I
She
think it's going to involve a certain genetic superhero species.
yeah.
yeah,
I
and
know.
and we can't end this without talking about the two spoilers. And by far, to me, what the two things that happened in this series advanced the Marvel Cinematic Universe more than the past two or three movies that have come out. Um, when Bruno is having a conversation and say, "Yeah, the bracelet enhanced your powers, but I checked your genetics and they don't match up with your family's. There seems to be a mutation." And then we get that little jingle there of the X Men. Yep, that's exactly
Yep.
that's it. And so basically, I guess we're saying that Kamala Khan is now a mutant, and that she is the first mutant that we see in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, uh, unless you count Quicksilver from WandaVision. But
Yeah.
that to me was Kevin Feige's little hint, and just a little side note on that. when the script was written, the only person who had a copy of the full script was Iman Vellani, the actress who plays Miss Marvel. And when she read it, she was so ecstatic that she actually emailed Kevin Feige in all caps, "Are you for real? Is this really what I'm going to do?" So
Yes.
you can sense the excitement. What did you guys think of that? Are you excited for X-Men?
Oh, I am. And Daniel, you talked about the woman from Damage Control. I see her working with a certain Senator Kelly for mutant
Yes.
registration. That's where I
Or
see her coming back up because she's done
William
with Damage
Stryker,
Control.
maybe,
Yeah.
Yeah,
or
I mean the future.
helping with making technology that hunts mutants,
Yes.
just something of that matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That future is wide open,
Yeah.
so it's really cool to see. And I actually heard a little nugget this week, and I'll go ahead and slip it in here. I heard that there was a rumor that Javier Bardem has been cast for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and more than likely he would be Mr. Sinister. So we'll
Ooh.
see if that comes true or not.
Ooh.
All right,
That would be a villain. That
and
would
the
be a villain
other
we
thing,
haven't gotten.
yeah, yeah. And the other thing that we were going to talk about here is the end credit scene. Josh, you want to tell us about that?
I mean, she's sitting there on her bed, and the bracelet lights up. Which
Supposed
some
to be doing
people,
her homework.
yeah, some people are saying it's a Kree negaband, and she gets thrown through her closet, and out steps Brie Larson, Captain Marvel. Now, at first, when I'm watching this, I'm thinking, okay, did she just transform into Captain Marvel? Because she does have the shape shifting abilities. But then Brie picks up a picture of herself from the closet door and looks at the photos of herself all over the wall. And it's not a matter of like, oh, her looking in a mirror and seeing what she's turned into. But Captain Marvel looks confused as to where she is. So I believe it is Captain Marvel that we saw.
I'm more of the mind that that's her shape shifting, because that was a very big story point in the series, that she could shapeshift, and one of the first things she shapeshifted into was Carol Danvers. And she did seem kind of like it felt like her dialogue felt like Iman Vellani's more than Carol Danvers. So that's just my thought on it, really.
Well, I guess we can all have an opinion about that one until sometime next year when we get the Marvels,
Yes.
which will star all three of the Captain Marvels, Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, and Monica Rambeau.
Yes.
So we'll see how that goes. I think that's all we got on Miss Marvel. I'm kind of sad that this is the end of Miss Marvel, but I don't know what our next Marvel show is coming up, but it should be something pretty fun here real soon.
By far, this has been my favorite. I enjoyed Loki, but I really liked this show. I love the family dynamic of it.
This was definitely the most easily accessible Marvel series, really, and it was so compact. It didn't feel like it needed to tie into like a lot of things. The way they did the whole mutant thing even was just a little slip, a little slip there. It wasn't like, hey, this is all building to, which it is technically, but it's not. It didn't feel like you needed to know 7 million things when they slipped that through.
And I feel like that's what Feige has been doing in Phase 4. He is subtly putting hints in. And when we finally connect them all, we're going to be like, oh, I get it now. I see what he's been doing this whole time.
I think I've kind of started to figure out what's going on. And I think what's coming in the next like 3 to 4 years, if fans will be patient, a little bit more patient, and not just expect to like boom, 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 it's gonna, exactly what's gonna happen. Just be patient. I think a lot of fans are gonna be very happy, and I think it's probably gonna involve the Secret Wars. But we have to get mutants, and we have to get the Fantastic Four in order for this to really work.
Yes.
Right. So my theory is Hall H this year at San Diego Comic Con should be really interesting. I don't know if Marvel's presenting or not, but
They
we
are.
shall
Yeah,
see.
We shall see. There's been some interesting rumors floating around this past week. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not holding my breath on any of it, but there's been some very interesting rumors going around.
And that's coming up
cool.
next weekend.
Yeah.
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 All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining us tonight as we talked about Miss Marvel episodes 4, 5, and 6. And if you like what you saw, click like and subscribe down on the bottom. Click that bell notification so you know when we are putting up our next video. And check us out on social media. You'll see the links on the bottom with all the different social media sites we have for the Brothers Boyd. And until next time, Excelsior, and see you at the shop.